What is going on, everybody? How is everyone doing out there? Please hit the like if you haven't. Please subscribe if you haven't. Hold on, let me switch over. What is going on? Of course, we have to start the stream by, hold on. The bit rate is lower than recommended bit rate. You guys can see me good? You guys can hear me good? Is everything good? Because I'm getting lower than recommended bit rate. 2,600. I don't know if I could bring that up, but hopefully I'm not glitching or anything. Just let me know if you guys hear me good and everything's good, so we can just go ahead and continue. But we got, of course, Hashim here with the Let's Go champ. We got, hold on. Adrian Dones was good, Fanatico, but we got the member, Hugh Jakes. How's it going, my brother Fanatico? Now, hold on. Before we start fully engaging with everybody, I can see you well, bro. Okay, stream seems good. Okay, cool. Before we start engaging, I got a new stream deck. So basically a new producer kit for my live streams. And because Hugh Jakes became a member maybe about a week ago, I wasn't able to do these. Like I'm inserting fun little, clips and stuff like that. I wasn't able to do this, but I got a new member clip. We got to give it to Hugh Jakes as the first member. Here we go, Hugh Jakes. New member. So whenever we get a new member, we getting one of these. Drop. All right, so Hugh Jakes, you deserve that. That's a crowning. You know what I'm saying? You got that. You got that crown. And of course, we got stuff for super chats and different super chats and different amounts, because I don't want you guys to feel like it's dry. Like y'all just did a super chat and nobody really cares. So I got a bunch of stuff in here for you guys. Also, if you subscribe, it'll come up right here. So if anybody hasn't subscribed yet and you want to test the button out, hit subscribe. It should come out right here. It'll show your name. It'll show a little graphic, and it'll show that you subscribe to the channel. All right, so now let's go back through this real quick. CJ, there you go. Just CJ. What's up, brother? How's your day? Really good. How's your day going, CJ? Thank you for coming through. We're already at 18 viewers. Guys, hit the like and hit the subscribe. And if you subscribe, it's going to be live because we'll see it on screen. I hooked it all up. I'm telling you, man, I got a whole streamer producer kit in front of me now. It's not amateur hour no more, man. I'm going to be doing this basically full time, so we got to step it up. All right, hold on. AP, whatever was going on, brother. Man, can't answer that, CJ. Stream seems good. Thank you very much. I can see you well, bro. Hashim with the fire emojis. All right, man, that's hard. Thank you, man. Thank you. Hugh Jakes, of course, man, you got that crown. Got to give you that crown, brother. Got to give you the crown, man. You were the first guy to become a member. So we got to give it to you. I wouldn't feel right if we had that and now everybody else who becomes a member gets to get blessed with something like that. I want you to get blessed with that. Boxing Fanatico by Boxing Video Game Wishlist. What's going on, Poe? What's up? All right, now let's talk. Terence Crawford on the what's that? What's that show called? I forget, man. The name of the show escapes me all the time. Let me see if I could pull it up. On $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. He went on there and he said Errol Spence don't got a better welterweight record than he does. What do we think about this? Errol Spence does not have a better welterweight record than Terence Bud Crawford. Is this cap or is this facts? Hold on, I got to do one of these to start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! All right, now let's start. We hype. All right, so is it cap or is it facts? Is Terence? He was coming up with some good arguments. I don't think they let him go all the way with the argument. I think the argument got cut off. Like, I think he had everything built in his head, and he was gonna start naming them off, right? Taking them off the list. but he ain't really get to go into it like that. So I'm curious. I want to know what the community. I have like a little bit of I want to talk about it a little bit from my perspective, but I want to hear what the community has to say. Boxing Video Game Wishlist is saying it's cap. He capping. There ain't no facts being told here. There ain't no facts being told. But I got questions. I do got questions though. Uh-oh. We gotta hit him with we got the super chat, so we gotta do it right. First super chat to see it. $5 super chat. Adrian Dones, what you got for a super chat? There you go. That's a $5 super. $5 or more, you get that one. Bud was right about. He said what he said about Danny Garcia, but Spence still whooping him. Ooh. Oh, Adrian Dones. Your super chat comes up right here too, by the way. Super chat comes out right here too, by the way. You guys are having a blast with my producer kit, aren't y'all? I see it. You guys are loving it over there. LOL, love it. Yeah, man, it gets better. It gets better as you keep putting it in. But anyways, yeah, I mean, Danny Garcia was one thing, but there was other fighters, and I think because Terence when Terence said this, Terence literally was like, all right. He was literally like, all right, we gonna talk about this then. Like, let's talk about this. Like, he put his hands down. He's like, I love this. I love when people say this. I think Danny Garcia was just one argument. I think he had like a whole argument set up, but they just went on to something different, right? But I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm getting a lot of cap. Like, yeah, it's cap. Goon Squad, same thing, cap. Man, look. He right about Danny, right? Danny did go to 147, and he did beat people at 147, by the way. He said he ain't beat nobody, but I think when he says he ain't beat nobody, I think he's referring to he ain't beat anybody big, right? Like, he beat Paulie Malignaggi, but Paulie Malignaggi was, like, already at the tail end, right? So it wasn't, like, a big deal for him to beat Paulie Malignaggi. But when he fought the big dogs, like a Sean Porter, a Errol Spence, a Keith Thurman, he lost, right? And then when you look at other fighters, like, let's look at all the fighters, right? Let's look at the ones that people point at to say, yo, this is the biggest deal. Like, this is what's showing that Errol Spence was dominating in the welterweight division. You could look at, for example, Mikey Garcia, right? But Mikey Garcia was a big name. He was real popular. But also, he had to come up 2 divisions to fight Errol Spence Jr. And then even if you fast forward against Sandor Martin, he looked horribly average. So maybe there's an argument there. Like, maybe a Mikey Garcia win ain't that big of a deal. He had to jump up to a guy who's actually kind of pulling himself down to the welterweight division. He's much bigger than the welterweight division. So he's fighting this really, really big guy that he's not comfortable fighting. Hold up. Let's look at the chat. Crawford was 100% correct. Elwood just has a big casual fan base, so they don't understand. Ooh, Harley, okay. Yo, what's good, gang? I'm off today, bro. Let's go, Jump, man. That's why we in here. Thank you for showing up, man. Harley, want to understand. They don't want to understand. Okay, Mr. Bones Boxing, what's your opinion on potential Ryan versus Rolly fight? Oh, we're going to talk about that too. I think that's a good fight for Ryan, actually. That's a good comeback fight, because if they do that fight, he could get. There's a story behind it, right? The sparring session is behind that story. But also, I think that's a way for him to win a belt, a world title, an easy way to win a belt. And it's a redemption fight, right? Rolly gave a little bit of trouble to Tank. If he comes and beats Rolly, which I think he can definitely do that, it's like a perfect comeback. It makes sense all the way you look at it, right? If he didn't fight Tank and lose to Tank, it wouldn't make sense. But the fact that he fought Tank, lost to Tank, Rolly was giving Tank a little bit of problems in the beginning of the fight before he got knocked out. There's the sparring footage where Rolly became famous for being roughhousing basically Ryan Garcia. I think there's a big potential in this. And then we can see how much money does Ryan really pull, because we could have a gauge of what Tank did with Rolly, and then a gauge with what Ryan does with Rolly. And then we can see how much pay-per-views can Ryan on his own pull, and that's a big deal. Figuring that out to see how much value Tank actually has is a big deal in my opinion. So I can't wait. I want that fight. For so many reasons, I want that fight to happen. But I think it makes the most sense for Ryan Garcia. I think Spence ended Mikey, to be honest. Mikey, I mean, ended? You think he ended him? I think he ended him. Yeah, I mean, after that fight. But the thing is, he had to move up 2 divisions. He was very, very little for Errol Spence. Very, very little for Errol Spence. A lot of pro fighters picked Mikey to beat Spence. Mikey was a good technical boxer, but so is Errol Spence. And if you add the weight disadvantage, the massive, it was a 2-weight jump. It wasn't like he went up a division. He went up 2 divisions, right? So there's a lot of things in there, right? Even if you look at the Kell Brook situation. Now, I like Spence. I really like Spence. I got nothing against Spence. But I'm trying to think of what Terence Crawford's arguments were going to be. Because he was setting up to talk about all of these big welterweight fights. The Sean Porter fight, Errol Spence almost lost to Sean Porter. It was a close fight. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford knocked Sean Porter out. Sugar Ray Leonard. What do you mean Sugar Ray Leonard? A lot of pros pick, Sugar Ray Leonard picked Mikey Garcia to beat Spence. Okay, I don't know why they would do that. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have picked Mikey Garcia to beat Spence coming up 2 divisions. I'm far from a casual at Harley. Oh, he's talking about the response that Harley put out there. When Bud broke it down, it was all facts, but I wouldn't say Spence hasn't fought anyone. He's been at 147 his whole career and has 3 titles, so of course he has some notable wins. Yeah, but even if you look at the titles, that's what Bud is trying to say. It's like, okay, let's look at the wins, right? Even if you want to say, he beat Danny Garcia for the title, he beat a Danny Garcia that didn't really beat anybody at welterweight. Because the way he was framing it was kind of smart. The way Terence Crawford was framing that question was smart. Because he said, all right, do you think Errol Spence has a better record than me or has fought better people than me at welterweight or overall in his career? Now, overall, in Terence Crawford's career, I think Terence Crawford has a better overall record. Because he fought a closer to his prime Yuriorkis Gamboa. And it was a crazy, brutal fight. Gamboa was still somewhat like a dangerous fighter at that time. And he beat Yuriorkis Gamboa, right? He fought an Amir Khan, right? He fought Ricky Burns. He fought Jeff Horn, who was undefeated and beat Manny Pacquiao. Although, a lot of people had questions about that fight. It was a close fight. Most people leaned towards Manny, but he still came out with the victory versus Manny Pacquiao, and he knocked Jeff Horn out. He beat Jose Benavidez Jr. when he was undefeated. He beat Molina Jr., Victor Postal. I don't know if I said that already, but he beat some real good guys. He became undisputed at 140, the first man or the second man to do it in the 4-belt era after years. Last person to do it was Jermaine Taylor before he did it. He was the one that sparked that trend to start doing that now that you see fighters doing it like crazy now. He was the first one to do that. He went and cleaned up 140 when that wasn't even popular to do. You just win 1 belt and you avoid everybody else. 4 belts was very convenient for avoiding fighters. Because you could be like, who's the WBC champion? Oh, heck no, I'm good. I'm going to be a WBO champion. I'm going to be a WBA champion. I'm going to be an IBF champion. You could pick who you want. To clean it out and take all of the major belts at 140 is just to show I'm the big dog at 140. So his argument was he has a better overall record. So then he's trying to say, okay, so if he has a better overall record and the consensus is that Spence has a better welterweight record, then let's start breaking down Spence's welterweight achievements. That's basically what he was saying. Let's start breaking down Errol Spence's welterweight achievements. And when he starts looking at it, he's like, all right, he beat Danny Garcia, who did great at 140, but he didn't do that great at 147. You can't say a Danny Garcia win at welterweight is exceptional if you trying to say that I'm not good at welterweight, but I have a better record overall that covers all the other weights that he fought in, like 140, which was his most dominant weight. And you gonna take his 140 achievements and just apply that to Errol Spence at 147. You can't play that. You can't play that game where it's like, I'ma bend the rules when I'm talking about the guy that I like, but when I'm talking about you, I'ma keep it on the straight and narrow. That's basically what Terence Crawford was trying to say. Hold on, video game wish list site. Well, I doubt it. Spence and Crawford have a similar resume. You can choose to deny it, as most fanboys do. They do have a similar resume. Like if you look at the Sean Porter, the Kell Brooks of the world, you know, they got a pretty similar. They fought similar guys in that respect. But Terence Crawford beat Amir Khan at 147 at Amir Khan's comfortable weight. Amir Khan, who beat the likes of Marcos Maidana, he was no joke. And although he beat him at the little bit at the tail end of his career, that's also kind of like the same thing. You could look at Kell Brook and be like, yo, that's a tail end of his career type fight. Or you can even look at the Mikey Garcia fight and think the same thing, because Mikey Garcia was like inactive, basically stopped boxing and came back to box Errol Spence Jr. Mikey should have stayed and fought Loma, but I get it. Yeah, I mean, he was moving up. He was looking for the cash out fight. And to him, I think the Errol Spence fight was a perfect cash out fight. Buzz saying he said actually makes his resume look worse because he hasn't beaten anyone that beat elite fighters either. Okay, you could say that. That's no, actually no. He beat Jeff Horn, who beat Manny Pacquiao. Ugas beat Manny Pacquiao, but he beat a Jeff Horn who beat a younger Manny Pacquiao. He beat a Manny Pacquiao that ended up going on to beat a Keith Thurman. So it's not exactly the same. Jeff Horn did beat an elite fighter in Manny Pacquiao. He beat Amir Khan, who beat an elite fighter like Marcos Maidana. He did beat people. He did beat people even at the welterweight division, because the Amir Khan fight was at welterweight, right? The Jeff Horn fight was at welterweight. And then, of course, you add in like the 140 with the Ricky Burns, the Victor Prostal fights. He beat some real good guys. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think it's the same, bro. I don't think it's the same. I don't know, man. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that he's right or he's wrong. I'm just saying that for a long time, even with me, it was just a consensus. Most people think Bud Crawford overall got a better record, but at welterweight, Errol Spence got it. But is it that Errol Spence just fought names, or is it that he really got a better record? Because even though you want to say Jeff Horn is an elite, Jeff Horn was undefeated and beat Manny Pacquiao in a close fight. Undefeated, beat Manny Pacquiao in a close fight. Manny Pacquiao then went on to beat Keith Thurman, but lost to Jeff Horn. That says a lot. You could say he's not elite, but he only lost. He was undefeated until he fought Terence Crawford, and that was when he first lost a fight. All right, wish list site. Also, I never called you specifically out, but you chimed in, so you must be fanboys. I'm talking about. Oh, Poe, they're coming for you. You're correct, but casuals for some reason believe boxing talent begins and ends with the PBC roster. Okay. See, here's the thing. The PBC did have all the belts, as they said in the podcast, so it was easier for them to make those fights. So I don't even blame Errol Spence. That's why in the last video when I was talking about I need to apologize for my rhetoric in terms of saying that I thought Errol Spence was scared to fight Terence Crawford, it wasn't so much that he was scared as proven by his relentlessness to make this fight. And by scared, I never mean that he's scared like, oh, he's scared to get hurt or whatever. I don't think any boxer is scared to get hurt. Or I just think that they're worried to lose because that could be financially damaging to them, right? I thought he was just like worried. He didn't want to do that fight. But then after all of this, I'm like, nah, he's not worried. he really was just fighting the easy. He was really doing the easy route because why not? Why not do the easy route and then fight Terence Crawford instead of trying to fight Terence Crawford, the fight falling through, and then you're spending all this time trying to get to him. So now you got to start trying to get another fight with somebody else. It's going to take you 2, 3, 4 more years to get all of these fights and collect the belts to become undisputed. So I get the path that Errol Spence went. I get it. And luckily, the PBC fighters happen to have the belts. The PBC fighters happen to have the belts. All those guys were easy work for Crawford, non-elite. Okay, but they were easy work for Crawford. That's my point. If they were easy work for Crawford, what makes Errol Spence have a harder fight? Artist, tell me what was a fight that was an elite fight for Errol Spence. And you can't, and the Sean Porter fight is canceled out because Terence Crawford fought Sean Porter and did it much easier. Heck, if Errol Spence didn't knock down Sean Porter, he could have lost that fight. He could have had a loss on his record against Sean Porter, and then Terence Crawford beating Sean Porter. So I'm not trying to say they weren't easy for Crawford. They could just not be elite for Crawford in terms of the levels, because there's levels to this, right? If you beat a Manny Pacquiao in 2017, 2 years removed from his fight with Floyd Mayweather, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. I mean, he went on to then beat a Keith Thurman, so that's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? That's a big deal. So you could kind of force it in a way. I get that. But then you got to tell me who's the person that Errol Spence fought that negates the record of Terence Crawford at welterweight. We talking just welterweight, because overall record, I still think Terence Crawford takes it. I mean, he was the first guy to become undisputed in so many years. But 147 for the longest, myself included, I always rocked with Errol Spence got a better welterweight record. Because he fought the names. He fought the names, right? He fought the Danny Garcias, the Mikey Garcias, the Sean Porters, the Kell Brooks. You know what I'm saying? He fought the names. But looking back, maybe those names was just that. They were just names. Or maybe they had their highlights at 140. It's different. It's different. Keith Thurman would have been a massive name, but he ain't never actually fight Keith Thurman. Personally, this is going to be a boxing masterclass. We'll take a mistake by either fighter for someone to take over the fight. Nice. CJ, that's CJ's input on the fight. I've already given my prediction. I do believe that Terence Crawford is going to win by knockout. That don't mean that I think Errol Spence is trash. I don't think he's trash. I just think he throws a lot of volume punches, and that's going to work to Terence Crawford's advantage, because Terence Crawford is a smart counter puncher with a lot of power. And when Terence Crawford hurts you, he always gets you out of there. When he hurts you, he always gets. There ain't gonna be a thing. You don't see Terence hurt somebody and then doesn't finish it off. He knows how to get you to the point where it's a wrap. If you wobbly hurt or something, he know how to get you to the point where it's a wrap city, and he gonna get you out of there. That's why he got a 100% knockout ratio at the welterweight division. 100% knockout. I want to see Haney and Shakur fight later this year or early next year. Haney, it looks like Tank is calling out Devin Haney. It looks like Tank's team wants Devin Haney. I guess after they seen that performance, and with Devin Haney being a free agent, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. They could do an undisputed fight. They could try to get Tank to become undisputed. They could continue to elevate Tank's presence in the casual market to continue to make these pay-per-view numbers. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Guys, hit the like. If you haven't hit the like, hit the like. We got 30 people in here, but we only got 9 likes. Hit the like, guys. Let's get the likes up. Let me just double check here, make sure everything's on the up and up on this side here. Guys, yes, let's get the likes up, guys. Let's get the likes up. Thank you very much, guys. I appreciate that. All right, let's go back to this. Hold on. Amir Khan was washed, though, but so was Kell Brook. Now I'm saying you could say that. So was Mikey Garcia. So was Danny Garcia. They was all washed. They was all washed up, bro. The only person that wasn't washed up was Shawn Porter. But then Shawn Porter went and fought Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford had a better performance against an equal opponent. I'm not saying, listen, once again, this is not my argument that I'm making for him. I'm just putting these things out to see, like, does he have an argument? Does Terence Crawford himself have an argument? Because he might have an argument. And I'm telling you, he was ready to start listing them off. We just didn't hear the breakdowns. But he was ready to start listing them off, man. He was ready. But no one looked at Jeff Horn as elite. Even if you don't look at Jeff Horn as elite, that's on you. He beat a dude that beat Marco Antonio Barrera, that beat Eric Morales, that has wins over Juan Manuel Marquez, even though I think he ain't really, that beat Oscar De La Hoya, that beat Miguel Cotto. Know what I'm saying? And then you could say, oh yeah, but he did that in the past. But then he went on to beat Keith Thurman. The Keith Thurman win is one of the most interesting moments in Manny Pacquiao's career. Because when you look at that, and you look at Keith Thurman's body of work before he lost to Manny Pacquiao, Manny just beat an elite fighter that beat a Danny Garcia, that beat a Shawn Porter. He beat an elite fighter. An elite fighter. So when you look back, he wasn't that old for Floyd Mayweather. Even though Mayweather was older than him, but people still use that excuse. He wasn't that bad because he beat Keith Thurman. Undefeated Keith Thurman. He gave him his first loss. Dropped him. The first one to drop Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. He lost to Jeff Horn and went on to beat Keith Thurman. So that win against Manny Pacquiao aged like wine for Jeff Horn and Floyd Mayweather. It aged like wine. If you want to say that don't matter, then Ugas, the win against Ugas, don't matter. Because he beat an even more washed Manny Pacquiao than Jeff Horn beat. And that was the only big win that Ugas got. That's the only, because Ugas lost to Shawn Porter, a person that Errol Spence already beat, a person that Terence Crawford knocked out. I'm telling you, when you start actually microscoping these fights, is Terence right? Is he spitting facts or is he spitting cat? It feels like he could be onto something. That's all I'm saying. It feels like he could be onto something. Hold on. So you going back and forth with what is it? Who is the insider from EA that oh my God, this dude came in and talked. We can't talk about Undisputed in here, guys. And by Undisputed, I'm talking about the video game. Amir Khan already had gotten KO'd by Canelo before that. Okay. And Kell Brook already got destroyed by Gennady before he fought Errol Spence. This is what I'm saying. For every tit, there's a tat. For every tit, there's a tat. Oh, Amir Khan, he already got KO'd by Canelo. He got KO'd by Canelo at his uncomfortable 154. He came back down to a comfortable 147. Remember, he went up to fight Canelo at an uncomfortable weight. And I think it may have been a catch weight, but it's still uncomfortable for him. He's more comfortable at 147. He lost to Terence Crawford at his comfortable weight. Kell Brook lost to Terence Crawford after a 3-win streak. A 3-fight win streak. Where he was feeling good. He wasn't like, he didn't have to come down before in less than a year from going all the way up to fight Gennady Golovkin. He didn't have to come down to fight Errol Spence, to fight Terence Crawford, but he did have to come down in less than a year's time. He had to bring himself all the way down to fight Errol Spence Jr. after Gennady Golovkin done broke his orbital bone. For every tit, there's a tat. That's all I'm saying. And in the welterweight division, we're not even talking about overall records. In the welterweight division, for every tit, there's a tat. Adrian Dones, I think their resumes match up almost equally. Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. And I'm talking about in the welterweight division, it matches up equally because overall, Bud Crawford already became undisputed. Errol Spence ain't never become undisputed. Bud Crawford already did that. Shane Boise, to use the word elite so easily, describing so many boxes undermines the word elite. Maidana, Khan, Horn, regardless of who they be, can't be classed as elite just because you may defeat as many does. Okay, cool. I got you. And I respect your thought because, yeah, elite is a big word. But with that same concept, you have to bring down all the people that Errol Spence fought. What makes Danny Garcia elite? What makes Danny Garcia elite? He lost. He beat an Amir Khan, but he lost to Sean Porter. He lost to Keith Thurman. What makes him elite? What makes Kell Brook elite? He beat a Sean Porter. But what makes him elite? Lost when he went up to fight Gennady Golovkin. What makes Mikey Garcia elite? If you want to go by that thing, because Maidana beat a undefeated at the time. What's this dude's name? The Mexican dude. Forget his name. Victor Ortiz. He beat an undefeated superstar, Victor Ortiz. When Victor Ortiz had no losses. He beat an undefeated Adrian Broner. Maidana's not elite. I mean, you could say he's not elite. You could say those wins are not elite wins. Other people might say they are. But if you say those aren't elite wins, then you got to say all these wins over here aren't elite either. So these fighters aren't elite either. I agree with you. Elite is a big word. You could only really give it to a handful of people like Manny Pacquiao. He's elite. Floyd Mayweather. He's elite. You can only give it to a handful of people, but you can't say that on one end of the spectrum and then on the other end be like, nah, but he fought elite fighters. If Kell Brook is elite, they both fought them. If Sean Porter's elite, they both fought them. They canceled them. They canceled each other out. Adrian Dones, I wouldn't say Spence took the easy route. He was calling for Keith every chance he got, but Keith didn't want the smoke. Also, Spence started collecting the belts before Bud got to 147. Here's the thing, though. When Keith Thurman was getting called out by Errol Spence, that's when Errol Spence was kind of up and coming. Nobody really knew about Errol Spence Jr. at the time. Nobody really knew. Like, people knew about him, but his claim to fame or his rise to fame at the time was giving Floyd Mayweather a black eye in sparring. Because he did that and Floyd was such a big thing, a big deal, and if Floyd was wearing the glasses after the sparring session and all that and all his interviews, it was like, oh, damn, somebody gave Floyd a black eye. So that was a big deal, right? That's what sparked Errol Spence's interest. Keith Thurman was looking at that like that's mad low reward for high risk. So he didn't want to fight. Fast forward, he wanted to fight, but Errol Spence wants to fight Terence Crawford, and kudos to him. He shouldn't be fighting Keith Thurman right now anyways. Terence Crawford is a much better, much more elite fight. Keith Thurman still got a thing or two. He just beat Mario Barrios, so he still got it. It's not like completely gone. He's definitely not who he used to be. But, I mean, we can't forget who Keith Thurman was in his heyday, man. He was knocking out mad people. Not knocking out, I'm sorry, beating mad people in close competitive fights, but he was beating them. People like Sean Porter, people like Danny Garcia. So I hear you. I hear you when you say he didn't take the easy route, he wanted Keith or whatever. But if he did fight Keith, if somehow that fight would have been made, that would have been the fight. That would have been the fight that you can't shake it. Like you can't really make you can't tiptoe around it, dance around it, or there wasn't too many loose ends on that one. You could say, hey, look, Keith Thurman, that's a legit one. But all the other ones, there's a little bit of loose ends on those, or not loose ends, but they're not watertight. They're not watertight. So it is very possible that Bud Crawford could be onto something. It's very possible. Terence Crawford for the win, too many skills. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see July 29th. It's not too far from now. It's only about 2 months from now, exactly, because it's May 29th. So roughly about 2 months from now. Agree, Fanatico, is going to be like Hatton Mayweather all over again. Oh, so you think Bud Crawford's going to win, or you think Errol Spence is going to win? Because I get what you're saying in terms of Hatton Mayweather. Because before Mayweather fought Ricky Hatton, it was like Ricky is unbeatable. Ricky got more wins than Floyd Mayweather. And he's undefeated. And he beat Casa Zoo. And he destroyed Jose Luis Castillo. Like, this the guy that's going to push Mayweather to the brink. And when they fought, he was actually really good. Like, people forget because Mayweather knocked him out, but Mayweather had to work and adjust and build to that knockout because it was like a back and forth battle between him and Ricky Hatton. So Ricky Hatton was actually putting work. He was really, really good when he was undefeated, when he had that confidence as being undefeated. He was very, very good. This might end up being like that, where it's like somebody gonna be the Ricky Hatton, somebody gonna be the Floyd Mayweather of this entire thing. Both fighters beat people they should beat as favorites. Good, they are finally about to fight. Ari Test, hey, listen, I don't disagree with you. I'm basically just saying the argument that's been made for so many years is Errol Spence has a better welterweight record. And all I'm saying is, does he really? Like, when we actually pull back, look at it for real and look at everything and not just to see, oh, he's a superstar. Oh, this guy was a star. Danny Garcia's a star. Mikey Garcia's a star. Kell Brook is a star. Sean Porter's a star. Therefore, he has a better welterweight record. When we pull back and look, oh, Mikey Garcia had to go up two divisions. Then it didn't age that great either because he ended up having that poor outing with Sander Martin, right? So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm going with Spence, bigger fighter. He's going to walk Crawford down and finish him off. Okay. Listen, hey, volume, man. That's what comes from Spence. Volume. That's his favorite thing, throwing punches in bunches. He actually has the highest punch output in the welterweight division based on CompuBox numbers. Sean Porter was prepared to retire when he fought Crawford. Here we go. Like, was he? Or did he retire because he lost to Crawford? You think that Sean Porter would have retired had he beat Crawford? He wasn't prepared in his mind to retire after. You don't know what would have happened. Well, he lost. He's a competitive dude. If he was prepared to retire, why was he so pissed when he got dropped? He was punching the floor. Like, he was pissed off. When he gets dropped, he gets pissed. Same thing happened when he got dropped with Errol Spence. He got up and he screamed, "Let's go," like he was pissed. He has this like, when he gets dropped. Like, I want my get back so bad. So when he got dropped by Crawford, you saw the anger because of his intense competitive spirit. I don't think he was like, oh, I'm just going to come in here for a payday because I'm going to get retired. I'm going to retire. I don't think he was doing that at all. UWU talking about Boxing Dead. How Boxing Dead we about to get Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr.? My man's you bugging. Boxing is alive and well. We just did 1.2 million pay-per-view buys for two boxers. Not two YouTubers. Two boxers and Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. Ugas arguably beat Sean Porter in a very close fight. Sean Porter arguably beat Errol Spence in a close fight. We gonna play the close fight game? We about to play the who won in a close fight, who I think won, and maybe I won, but he won in a close fight? A close fight is a close fight, could go either way. Boxing is incredibly subjective. People can see what they want to see when they're looking at boxing as a judge and determine what they like in terms of based off of the criteria of what they like to see and then award somebody to win. Same thing happened with Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. Lomachenko hit him majority of the time in the head while Devin Haney was focusing 50% of his shots to the body. Landed way less to the head than Lomachenko did. But the judges cared more about those one punch that were more harder and made a bigger impact from Devin Haney. Boxing is super subjective. So when somebody didn't get the nod, didn't get the nod. That don't go in their records that they got the win or that they could have had a possible win. They didn't get the nod in a close fight. So you're saying Buster Douglas is an elite fighter because he beat Mike Tyson? No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, okay, they're not elite. I'm agreeing with you. But the same way they're not elite, you got to be able to say Kell Brook ain't elite, Danny Garcia ain't elite, Mikey Garcia ain't elite. That's all I'm saying. And if you say that for Terence Crawford and that for Errol Spence, how can you really say that Errol Spence has a better welterweight record than Terence Crawford? How can you say that Errol Spence did better than Terence Crawford in the welterweight division? Kell Brook, 3-win streak versus who? Solid? I mean, they all right, but it was coming off of wins, 3 of them. That boosts your confidence as opposed to going up and getting smashed by Gennady Golovkin, then within less than a year having to bring yourself back down to 147 and fight Errol Spence with a broken orbital bone that just broke, going up against Gennady Golovkin. I'm not saying that, 3 solid, like, I'm just saying, what are the better circumstances for a boxer? Coming off of a confidence boosting 3 wins or coming off of a devastating loss and having to come down? And when I'm saying this too, I'm not saying it to be like, Terence Crawford is right. I'm just putting it out there so that we could actually discuss it in a more open format and not just blanket saying Errol Spence got a better welterweight record just because he got 3 of the 4 belts. Because, like I said, I'm guilty of this too. Go back, look at all my videos. I've always said, Errol Spence got a better welterweight record than Terence Crawford. But when Terence Crawford brought that up with the Danny Garcia, then you got to look at everything else, and then you start thinking to yourself, does he really have a better record? Or is it just kind of smoke and mirrors because they're big names? Kell Brook is a big name, but Kell Brook had to come down, drain himself from going up to middleweight to fight against Gennady Golovkin in less than a year. Just broke his orbital bone, so he couldn't be training that hard in the gym, right? He had to let it heal first. So, and in less than a year, he was already fighting Errol Spence from the moment he broke his orbital bone. Think about that. But when he fought Crawford, he's coming back. He's into his own. He doesn't have to drain himself or nothing. He's comfortable. He's situated at 147. He's getting 3 wins in a row, consecutive, coming off of a 3-win streak. Confidence is sky high. Then gets knocked out by Terence Crawford. I'm just hearing his argument, and I see valid arguments. I see valid arguments coming from Terence Crawford. People nowadays think if you lose, then you're not elite anymore. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. I think Manny Pacquiao lost to Floyd, and I still think he was elite. Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez. Cold. He was still elite. Manny Pacquiao got outboxed by Eric Morales in the first fight. He was still elite. I don't think losing makes you not elite. It's the way you come back. Sugar Ray Leonard lost to Roberto Duran, then came back and outboxed Roberto Duran. So I don't think losing is just the bounce back. How strong is your bounce back? Your bounce back just got to be mad strong. It got to be mad strong. If it ain't mad strong, then people are going to label you like not elite. Lomachenko lost in his second fight to Salido and then went on a tear, beating Gary Russell Jr., Nicholas Walters, Guillermo Rigondeaux. Went on a tear. Jeff Horn versus Manny was a robbery. I don't think that was a robbery. I think it was a close fight. You could lean it towards Manny Pacquiao, but it was a close fight. Don't just go by what people say. People gonna say Jeff Horn was a robbery because Jeff Horn was kind of unknown and they didn't expect that to happen. But actually you could watch the fight. Go back and watch the fight yourself. Look at it objectively. Just watch it. Jeff Horn, Manny never really took off with Jeff Horn in that fight. Was he doing well? He was. But he ain't really take off. There was no separation between him and Jeff Horn. Go back and watch it. It wasn't a robbery. We got to stop using robbery. I don't really like that word because it gets used too much. In my opinion, there's only been a handful of robberies, like real robberies in boxing. But everything nowadays is a robbery. If it's close and the guy you wanted to win didn't win, it was a robbery. Exactly. Crawford said Kell Brook was coming off a 3-fight win streak, but against who? And that was at 154. He came back down to 147 for Bud and was drained and washed. No, it wasn't. He fought at welterweight. He fought at 147. He fought at 147. Let me pull it up right here. Hold on. Oh, no, you're right. He fought at 154. Yeah, you're right. He fought at junior middle before he fought Terence Crawford. Okay, but there's still a little bit of a leg up for Terence Crawford because even though he went up to 154, he didn't go as high up as he did when he went up to fight Gennady Golovkin, and he lost by a devastating orbital bone break to Gennady Golovkin, as opposed to having 3 wins straight, just one division above, and coming down to fight Terence Crawford. So if you're gonna say he was drained with Terence Crawford, he was ultimately drained, mega drained with Errol Spence Jr. That's the route you have to go. Jose Benavidez almost beat Terence Crawford, but he didn't. Almost, woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't. He didn't do it. Can Crawford even beat Thurman yet? I don't know, but can Errol Spence even beat Thurman? Because none of them ever fought them. Like, for every tit, there's a tap, bro. All I'm saying is, I think Errol Spence, Terence Crawford might be on to something. Spence wins by stoppage 10th round. Okay, let's see. Hearns versus Spence, who wins? I got Hearns winning that fight against Errol Spence Jr. Hagler Hearns versus Errol Spence Jr. If you got Errol Spence winning that fight, man, I don't know. Yes, exactly, Fanatico. The hat and comment. I realize my comments are way ahead of when you get to read them. Yeah, my fault. I'm catching up right now, guys. By the way, guys, if you hit subscribe, you will pop up right here. So hit that subscribe if you haven't. Hit that subscribe if you haven't, guys. I'm trying to test it out. I want to see if it works. So if you haven't hit subscribe yet, guys, go ahead, hit the subscribe so I can see if it pops up right here on the screen. If it comes up live. Nah, that podcast, Sean versus Crawford. That was podcast, Sean versus Crawford. Still competitive, but many years later. I don't know, man. He was still doing this thing when he fought, man. He was still look springy, fresh. He didn't look like he was old. He didn't look old. Danny Garcia isn't a star, LOL. Thurman isn't either. But Thurman was, what's a star? Are you talking superstar? Like, are you talking Mayweather level? Oscar De La Hoya level? Because Thurman was there. Danny Garcia, Thurman wasn't there, but Thurman was a star, not a superstar. He was a star. To me, a superstar is a person who transcends the diehard market, that spills over into the casual market. I don't think Danny Garcia did that, but I do think that he was a star within the diehard market. Keith Thurman was a star within the diehard market. There's only very few people that transcend. Tank is now transcended into the casual market. He's a superstar. Spence body shot gonna be the difference in the fight. Okay. I think Terence Crawford's inside fighting and devastating punching power is going to be the difference in the fight. You bugging. Danny's definitely a star. Yeah. They stars, but he talking about he want them to be Floyd Mayweather doing 2.5 million pay-per-views and stuff. Thurman a star in my eyes. He is a star, but he ain't never fight. Errol Spence ain't never fight Thurman. I think Errol Spence fighting Thurman would have been a big deal, but they ain't never fight. And that's not me saying that that's Errol Spence's fault. It wasn't. It was Thurman's fault, right? But at the same time, the reason that they didn't fight was because boxing is not just, yo, meet me outside, we're going to fight now. Yo, after school, at recess, we fighting. That's not boxing. There's so much in between before somebody gets into a ring. There's so many politics, contracts, lawyers involved, promoters involved, money got to be right, certain stipulations got to be in there. There's a lot of different things that got to come together for somebody to make a fight happen. Wilder versus Joshua. Who will win? I think Wilder would knock Anthony Joshua out, in my opinion. Cool Dr. Money gonna try to catch this one at an AMC. Ooh, really? Are they gonna play it in like closed circuit like that? Are they gonna do like the movie thing with this fight? They gonna do that? I mean, this fight deserves it, but I'm wondering if they're gonna do it. Bouts versus Ortiz. That's gonna be a good fight. Canelo versus Benavidez. That's a fight that I want bad. Loma versus Pitbull Cruz. Okay, I think Loma is way above Pitbull Cruz's ability, but I could see it. I mean, Pitbull Cruz gave Tank some problems, so it's a good barometer kind of testing fight. But I haven't said Brook, etc. are elite. I've not even mentioned who I think are elite. No, I know. My argument to you is the debate that's happening is simply, does Errol Spence have a better welterweight record than Bud Crawford? If he does, then what makes it better? If you're saying that these guys aren't elite, so they don't matter for the Terence Crawford win, then who's the elite ones that Errol Spence fought that make it matter? That's my point. That's the point that I'm trying to make on that. I want to see Pacquiao fight again. He did, but he fought in an exhibition fight. Outside of Porter, Crawford been bum hunting. Crawford been bum hunting. Okay, so Kell Brook's a bum. So Amir Khan's a bum. So undefeated Jose Benavidez Jr. a bum. Yuriorkis Gamboa a bum. And this was back then when Yuriorkis Gamboa was still kind of there. You know what I'm saying? Amir Khan a bum. I don't know. Victor Postal a bum. Molina Jr. a bum. Ricky Burns, bum. Even if you want to say Jeff Horn a bum, who Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao, but even if you want to say he's a bum, what about all them other guys? The confidence is high, skill still the same though. Once he fought better competition again. The confidence was high, skill still the same once he fought better competition again. Who you talking about? If and when Crawford beats Spence, will you then call Spence a bum? Oh, that's true. Or is that term just reserved for any other fighter Crawford KOs? It's just sometimes there's people that, you know, they care about boxing, and then there's people that care about a specific boxer. If you care about a specific boxer, you're always gonna bend and turn reality to make the narrative to elevate that boxer that you really like. I really like Shakur Stevenson, right? But I also really like boxing. There are people that they don't really like boxing. They just really like a one fighter. And what they do is they pay attention to boxing just to validate that one fighter mentally. So it'll be like, yeah, but nah, he not good. He not good. He the best. He not good. He did that, but that's not good. He the best. He too old, too young, not green. He's not ready. Too many losses. He better. It's like they just try to watch boxing to keep validating a person that they like. I don't do that because I like boxing a lot more than just an individual fighter. And then I have a favorite fighter. That's different than just liking one fighter and then you watch boxing because you like this one fighter. A lot of people do that. Now, I'm not saying that you doing that. I'm not saying that, but there's some people that have certain sentiments and things are always like all their arguments come off hypocritical because that's how they see it. Because that's how they see it. Some people think Mike Tyson was one of the greatest heavyweights, where I don't. As you said, it's how you bounce back. Tyson never really avenged any of his big fights. He was great. He was great in a period of his life. Yeah. No, I think Mike Tyson was a really good fighter. I think he was a very popular fighter. I think he was definitely like one of the, like, it's hard to say because did he beat anybody that was super like special, super difficult? Not really. But does that take away from his accolades? Because he transcended in a different way, right? He was culturally popular. So because he was culturally popular, some people put him as the greatest. I would not put Mike Tyson as the greatest heavyweight of all time. Like, there is just too many great heavyweights to put Mike Tyson there. Did he get a lot of knockouts? Was he really like good at like, selling himself in terms of like, you gotta watch my fights? Heck yeah. But does that mean that he necessarily was, like what Tyson Fury is right now, or Muhammad Ali, or Joe Frazier, or George Foreman, or those type of guys? Like, I don't know if I put him anywhere there. I wouldn't. Should I unsubscribe and resubscribe just to try it out? Hey, look, if nobody tried it, I mean, why not, man? I just want to see if it works. I truly want to see if it works. I mean, it'd be better if it was organic and somebody just hit subscribe if they haven't. But yeah, you could go ahead and do that if you to see. Try at work. Yeah, go ahead. I wouldn't be mad at you. I just want to see if it pop up. My man said I just had the same thought. All right, let me try to catch up. Hold on. Let me try to catch up. Crawford's resume is more impressive overall. Yeah, overall is more impressive. The question is, Spence's better resume at 147, but Crawford overall. That's the whole debate right there in a nutshell. That's the whole debate. The whole debate is that people think Crawford has a better and more impressive record overall or resume. He also became undisputed already at 140. But Spence, they saying that Spence got a better 147, and Crawford is saying, well, how he have a better 147? He fought a Danny Garcia that didn't beat anybody special at 147. And you can't say that, well, Danny Garcia beat Amir Khan and Lucas Matisse and all them guys because he did that at 140. You can't then unapply the same logic of overall record to his opponents, right? If you're just talking about 147, then you can't say, oh, Crawford got a better record at overall, but at 147 he don't. But Errol Spence, one of the reasons he don't is because Errol Spence beat Danny Garcia. Meanwhile, Danny Garcia didn't do nothing crazy at 147. He did it at 140. You did it? Hold up. Let me see. Oh yeah, no. The only thing I see is a super chat that came in. The only thing I see is a super chat. I have the mini feed. The only thing I see is a super chat, so I don't know if it worked or not, but it didn't pop up on the feed. So maybe you have to subscribe for the first time, I guess. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe you have to subscribe for the first time. That's why I wanted to test it out, because I don't know for sure. I'm not 100% sure. Not so much bums, but C fighters, strap holders like Pastal and Dongo, and unheralded fighters like Mean Machine and Avanesian. Yeah, but like then if you go into like Pascal, right? I think Pascal was a really good win for him. That's almost the equivalent of like saying, because Danny Garcia didn't do much at 147. So looking at Danny's 147 track record, what makes Danny Garcia a win over Danny Garcia so special? Because I could use Danny Garcia and then I could also use Amir Khan. Errol Spence ain't never fight Amir Khan, and Amir Khan had good records beating Marcos Maidana, right? He was doing his thing. He was up and coming until he met up with Danny Garcia, but that was at a lower weight class. The argument is simply, if you're gonna say that he got a better record at 147, then what makes his opponents a 147 caliber fights that make him have a better record? Because you can't be like, he got a better record at 147 because he fought a guy that did good at 140. That's the point that Terence Crawford is trying to make. Because then you start going into like, you start being hypocritical on the argument end just to fit a narrative. Just to say, oh, well, Danny Garcia was known, so therefore he's better. Haney and Tank look average against old glass chin Gamboa. And Crawford had an amazing performance against still prime Gamboa. Yeah. I remember when Crawford was fighting Gamboa, that was a 50-50 fight. People were saying that Gamboa was going to beat Crawford. A lot of people forget about Gamboa. There was a time when Gamboa and Juan Manuel Lopez were on a collision course. Gamboa was an Olympic Cuban fighter, gold medalist. Juan Manuel Lopez was a Puerto Rican fighter, like a rising superstar. Both were in top rank. That fight was cooking. They were going to fight each other. Unfortunately, Juan Manuel Lopez lost. I think he lost to Orlando Salido twice. And that derailed the entire fight with Gamboa. But a lot of people forget Gamboa was like the guy. He was the shining star at the time. So when he went up against Terence Crawford, that was almost a 50-50 fight. That was basically a 50-50 fight. A lot of people thought that Gamboa was going to win that fight. And Terence Crawford beat him. That's why I love listening to you, as we agree on so many aspects, i.e. my Tyson comment. Yeah, Shane Bosey, of course. Of course. My man said I feel clickbaited. My fault, bro. Trust me. Hey, listen, that's why I wanted it to be tested, just to see if it works. Maybe it got to be somebody new. Yeah. We'll see. If somebody new does it while I'm live, we'll see it. Hopefully. So what if Usyk beats Fury? If they fight, then retires. Could you class him as the best ever undefeated, undisputed cruiserweight, then undisputed heavyweight, all in 20 fights or something like that? Yeah. He could be one of the best ever undefeated, because you put in a long label to it, right? The best ever undefeated, undisputed, because this is the 4-belt era, right? We're in the 4-belt era. So we talking 4-belt era undisputed. Then Usyk, yeah, he'll be a multi-divisional undisputed. Because if he beats Fury, he also wins that final belt, the WBC belt, and he becomes undisputed at heavyweight. So he undisputed at cruiserweight, goes up, becomes undisputed at heavyweight. Yeah, I mean, that's a big, you could argue that. I know a lot of people have nostalgia bias, but you could argue just because something is recent doesn't invalidate it. Look at who he has to beat to do it. He has to beat a Tyson Fury to pull that off. That's not an easy task. Ugas, Danny, and Mikey beat all of Bud's resume except Porter. Ugas, what makes Ugas better than Jeff Horn? Jeff Horn beat Manny Pacquiao by decision. What makes Danny Garcia better than Kell Brook? Kell Brook beat Sean Porter. What makes Mikey Garcia better than Amir Khan? You have to explain these things. You can't just say, oh, this guy, he better. Buzz resume, don't even matter. You can't do that. You gotta explain it. What makes Mikey better than Amir Khan? What makes Danny better than Kell Brook? What makes Ugas better than Jeff Horn? Yeah, but they both had the same accolades. That's my point. What's Ugas' biggest, most spectacular win? Manny Pacquiao. He ain't knock him out. Way older version of Manny Pacquiao than the one Jeff Horn beat. Way older than the one Jeff Horn beat. You got to make that Discord. I do, bro. I've been thinking about it. I'm really thinking I'm gonna probably do that. Inside the square circle with King Judah, Crawford had a chance to fight Danny, Thurman, Manny Pacquiao. What? He did not have a chance to fight Danny and Thurman. You just saying that because I don't know. You just want to say that. Who had a chance, like a legitimate chance? Because a chance is like the contract could have been made with very little to no resistance or friction. The only person where the contract to fight Thurman and Danny and Thurman could have been made with very little friction is Errol Spence. Manny Pacquiao, maybe. He had a chance to fight Manny Pacquiao. They were about to do that fight, but because of the whole COVID pandemic thing, that fight got canceled. But it was about that like they pulled away. The Manny Pacquiao team decided not to proceed because they wanted to do it with an arena packed with attendees and stuff like that. And because of COVID, they couldn't do that. But you can't just say he had a chance to fight Danny and Thurman. How did he have a chance? How did he have a chance? He didn't have no chance. He didn't have no chance. Bud was in top rank. Where's the receipts? Bud literally turned down Danny and Thurman because he said they wanted too much, then stalled the Spence fight for the same reason, all cap. Where's the receipts? He was in top rank. He was in top rank. He would have to have gone. He would have to have a cross promotional fight with the PBC. Where's the receipts? You just can't sit here and be like, he said he turned them down because they had too much money. How? Where's the receipts? Where's the receipts? Where's the receipts? He just coming in here just saying the thing that feel good. Oh, they wanted money, so that's the easy thing to say. They wanted money, so no, PBC was not trying to have a cross-promotional fight. Why would PBC have Danny Garcia and Thurman fight Crawford when they can have Danny Garcia and Thurman fight each other, or Danny fighting Errol, or Thurman fighting Errol? PBC was lit with the welterweight division. What would make the PBC have any incentive to go over the top rank, have a cross-promotional fight, get 50% of the revenue to fight a risky fighter? Bud's resume is full of B+ and C level fighters. The only level fighters he fought was Kell Brook and Porter past their primes. Sure. So I'm sure the reason you're saying that is because Errol Spence also fought Kell Brook and Porter. So therefore, everybody else that Errol Spence didn't fight, Bud Crawford is C level. Who's the A level fighters that Errol Spence fought? I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Who's the A level that Errol Spence fought? Hold up. We gotta get him one of these.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble.
Who the A level? Who the A plus? Who the A plus? Who the A plus? I guess you believe Bud beat a better version of Kell Brook than Spence because Bud also capped about that too. Bud beat Spence, Kell Brook, that came off of 3 wins straight, that didn't have to drain himself 2 divisions to come down within a few months, which within less than a year, to fight with a broken orbital bone that had to be healing for like half of that time. Hugh Jakes, it didn't work. I just subscribed with a different account. Damn, man. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to see if it works, if I can fix that, but but yo, I want to see the A+ fighters that Errol Spence fought at welterweight. Give me the A+ fighters. Mikey Garcia is at the level fighter Spence beat that's better than everybody on Buzz. Cap City. Cap City. That's super cap. What makes Mikey Garcia any different than an Amir Khan? A Mikey Garcia that had to move up 2 divisions to face Errol Spence Jr. 2. He was not a welterweight. He was not a welterweight whatsoever. What makes him better than Amir Khan? What gives him more A level than Amir Khan? Let's go. Come on, inside the square circle with King Judah. Let's go. Kell Brook was coming off a layoff. Oh, he was coming off a layoff? He was coming off a layoff? Let me see. He was coming off a layoff because he fought Mark DeLuca. I got it right up. I got it up right here. He fought Mark DeLuca February 8th, 2020. And then he fought Terence Crawford in November 2020. So, I'm sorry, what? You're saying things that feel good. Once again, you're saying things.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you're saying things that feel good, bro.
Let's get ready to rumble!
You're saying things that feel good. They feel good. But you're not coming with receipts. You just saying things and hoping nobody's checking nothing. You just saying things and hoping nobody's checking nothing. Once again, what makes Mikey Garcia better than Amir Khan? Tell me. Tell me, because Amir Khan's comfortable at 147. Mikey Garcia moved up to 147. So tell me what makes Mikey Garcia better than Amir Khan. They were both past their primes. So what makes Mikey Garcia better than Amir Khan? Mikey didn't get KO multiple times like Amir Khan. Who cares? He was moving up to, you know who Amir Khan beat? Like, you know how established Amir Khan was? He beat Marcos Maidana. A lot of people make fun of Amir Khan for having a feather chin, but he beat an explosive puncher in Marcos Maidana. So what are you saying? Just because he could get knocked out, who cares? Who cares if he could get knocked out? He still beat big fighters. Khan was an accomplished 140 and settled into 147. No way Mikey is a better W than Khan. Exactly. My man Mikey had to fly up to 2 divisions to get beat up by Errol Spence. And that aged poorly, by the way, because then Mikey Garcia was completely outboxed by Sander Martin, a fighter from Spain that nobody knew who he was. So it didn't age well. Like beating Jeff Horn, in my opinion, aged better than beating Mikey Garcia. Because Jeff Horn beat a Manny Pacquiao that went on to beat Keith Thurman. Jeff Horn beat a Manny Pacquiao that went on to beat Keith Thurman. Kell Brook didn't go an extensive layoff after Spence broke him like everybody else who fought Spence. What are you talking about, bro? Bro, he didn't go on an extensive layoff, but guess what? He should have. Because he broke his orbital bone going up mad divisions to fight Gennady Golovkin, who broke his orbital bone. So that means he was not sparring. For a good amount of time, he was not sparring because that bone had to heal. Mind you, the turnaround between Gennady Golovkin and Errol Spence Jr., the turnaround from that fight to Errol Spence was less than a year. Less than a year. Come on, man. You just talking, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You just talking.
Let's get ready to rumble.
You just talking, my mans. You just out here talking. You just talking. That's it. That's it. My man said Mikey Garcia's resume is better than Khan's resume. Stop it. All right, receipts time. It's time to bring out receipts. Right? Just stop it. Just please don't check or anything either. Just stop it, please. Don't do that with the whole don't look at stuff. Just come on, stop. Stop. We got Amir Khan. Y'all ready? He beat Carlos Molina. He beat Zab Judah. He beat Marcos Maidana. He beat Paulie Malignaggi. He beat Marco Antonio Barrera. Let's go even closer now. Luis Collazo. He beat Devin Alexander. And Billy Dibb. Now let's go to Mikey Garcia. Let's go to Mikey Garcia. Rafael Guzman. Orlando Salido with like a billion losses. Juan Manuel Lopez after he lost to Orlando Salido twice. Elio Rojas. He got an Adrian Broner in 2017. Robert Easter Jr. 2018. Lost to Errol Spence. Jesse Vargas in 2020. And then lost to Sander Martin. How he got a better record? How he got a better record?
Ladies and
How he got a better record? How he got a better record?
let's get ready to rumble.
How he got a better record? How he got a better record? It's Cat, bro. You're just in here talking, my mans. You're just in here talking. Anyways, we went into overtime. 17 minutes. It's already been established. Inside the square circle with Ken Judah. Don't know what he's talking about. Oh, man. He said, I thought losses don't matter. Stay consistent, bro. I just said it doesn't matter that Khan got KO'd multiple times. Listen, bro. Losses don't matter. Losses don't matter, but 14 losses do matter. Losses don't matter, but 14 losses is a big deal, bro. He beat Juan Manuel Lopez, who lost to Orlando Salido twice, right? And he beat a really past his prime Juan Manuel Lopez. Really past his prime. So it's not even like a good Juan Manuel Lopez that he actually beat. Like the Lopez that they were building up to fight Gamboa. That's not who he fought. And Orlando Salido is a journeyman by every definition possible. Fun night. Fanatico was quick on the draw tonight. Hey, you already know, bro. W stream. Let's go. Discord, we starting that up. Don't worry. Huge difference whether you want to accept it or not. Yeah, massive difference between Amir Khan and Mikey Garcia. But when people pull out the receipts and look at the actual fights, nobody want to talk no more. They just want to say the thing. Hey, Mikey Garcia better than Amir Khan, right? They just want to say it. But once we hit them with the...
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble.
Once we hit them with the let's get ready to rumble, they don't know what to do, bro. They don't know what to do. Anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the stream right here. Thank you so much, guys. It was amazing. Like I said, we got the kit over here. We got everything going now. We got the stream kit. We got the whole production set. So we up in the stream entertainment value. So until next time, of course, we're live every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Don't miss it. Usually for an hour, but sometimes we get people just like the King inside the square circle with King Judah, where we have to go a little bit over just to end the debate. We have to go a little bit over just to end the debate. All right, guys. Until the next one. Peace out.